Historical Society on BCTV is supported in part by the Highlands at Wyomissing.
Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome to the monthly program for the Historical Society of Berks County on BCTV. My name is Sime Bertolet. I'm the Executive Director of the Historical Society, and I'm going to be your host this evening. I'll be sitting in for the regular host, George M. Miser IX, who's out on assignment, but will be returning for the February program. Welcome. It should be noted that this program is telecast live the first Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. It's repeated then on Friday night at 10 p.m., Saturday night at 6 p.m., and then Sunday morning at 9 a.m. In addition, you might also find it throughout the BCTV lineup throughout the rest of the month. But the program can also be watched on the BCTV website or by visiting the Historical Society's website at www.berkshistory.org, where you can go to our multimedia page. You can click on the icon for the television show and watch it at any time of your choosing. We also have a podcast available on the multimedia site. So I'd like to welcome all of you to the January 2012 program of the Historical Society of Berks County. Joining me this evening to my left is Kimberly Richards, Director of Archives. I'm sorry, it's hard for me. Kimberly just married, so it is now Kimberly Richards Brown, and she is the Director of Archives and Special Collections for the Henry Janssen Library of the Historical Society of Berks County. Also joining me is Joshua K. Blay. Joshua is the Associate Director and Museum Curator for the Historical Society. And our special guest for this evening is Reading Buccaneer Jerry Ware. I'd like to welcome all of you to the Historical Society this evening.
Our museum, Henry Janssen Library, and museum store are open Tuesday through Saturday from 9 to 4. Please be aware that in periods of inclement weather, delaying and closings will be posted on WFMZ TV 69's website and on their scroll. Sometimes you have to wait a while, but it will pop up. When in doubt, please call. If somebody answers, we're there. Our museum store has our usual compliments of gifts, craft items, and books on a number of subjects. Whether you're looking for the right gift or something for yourself, you'll be hard-pressed to walk out empty-handed.
Remind those of you either watching at home on the TV or on the computer that for just $55 a year, you can be a member of the Historical Society of Berks County. Membership in the Society includes 4 issues of a renowned quarterly magazine, the Historical Review of Berks County, free admission to the library and museum, store discounts 10%, an extra 10% with our monthly specials, which we get to. And we're pleased to roll out a new benefit of membership this year as a New Year's present to you all. A new benefit to membership is that all HSBC members will receive 1 free ticket to our annual property tour, 4 Centuries in Berks Historic Property Tour, every fall. So that's a $30 value. Family memberships, all living in the same household, are just $65 a year.
And while we're on the subject of memberships, we remind those of you who watch BCTV that it's a survivor and a tough venue, and it's unique and interactive, and you are encouraged to call with questions and comments to 610-378-0426.
Yeah, that's right, Kimberly. You know, I would suggest, and I urge the whole entire audience, that to salute BCTV for all the work that they do, for the programming they provide, and the shows that they provide. Nowhere else can you get that. You can do that very simply by sending a check for $35 for a membership to BCTV. Send it to BCTV at 645 Penn Street, Reading, Pennsylvania, 19601. And just remember that if you enjoy and you take part in watching BCTV, please support BCTV. They're a vital institution to our community. Now, it's been the fall season, Christmas season, and the passing scene season. And I'm happy to report that we had a great passing scene season. Passing Scene Volume 19 was an incredible volume. Probably the best that I've ever seen in my 5 years as the director of the Historical Society. And we still have some copies left. same 272 pages, hardbound, printed on heavy encyclopedic stock, very glossy, very bright, featuring 340 to 350 very rare photographs, many then and now photographs. You have a comprehensive index of over 2,500 entries.
And it's online.
Yep, and that's right. And the index is online. All issues of the Passing Scene, all volumes of the Passing Scene are searchable online. So it is a wonderful, wonderful publication. We still have some copies left, very few. And I would urge you, if you do not have your copy now, to purchase it. The cost is $49, that's tax included if you pick it up at the Historical Society, or $57 if you mail it. So stop by, pick it up. Great, great, great present. And you know, a wonderful present if you're visiting somebody that's out of town, or if they're coming to visit you. It's a real memento from Berks County. So I highly advise you taking part of that.
You got some Christmas money burning a hole in your pocket, come on in. It makes a great present for yourself or
for anyone else in the family. It's wonderful.
And once they're gone, they're gone.
Yep, that's right. And you know, you can't be without one if you're a Berks County. So anyway, so let's go on to some of the things that are happening at the Historical Society. In February, we're going to be debuting a new exhibit in the Palmer Gallery, and I think Josh is going to tell us a little bit about that right now.
Well, it's kind of funny, Sam. I was just tabbing up all the exhibits we've ever had in our Palmer Gallery since the library moved across the street into our Henry Janssen Library. We started off with the Pennsylvania Long Rifles, then Monobach Silver. Coverlet's just closed on the 30th of December. And now we're looking for a really nice space to put a lot of our local artwork in. We've been collecting since 1898, and we had our first painting in the early 1900s. And we've just never really had a good permanent space to hang artwork. With the coverlets now closed, we thought the Palmer Gallery would make a beautiful place to put some of this artwork into. We have something about 200 or so framed pieces, and we've asked board president to be our first guest curator. She's a huge devotee of Berks County art, and in particular animals, so it's only a natural fit that she's chosen landscapes that feature animals as part of our first theme. We'll also be including a few lone pieces, some privately held pieces for that. I brought along some printouts of some of the paintings we could show up here as I'm going through our little copy here. Artists to be represented include Ferdinand Brader, John Hale Reiser, Ralph Dunkerberger, Francis Daniel Devlin, and I'll tell you who some of the artists are here as we go through these. This is a beautiful shearer that was commissioned by the donor and Edward C. Noland. A beautiful shearer. It's hanging at auditorium right now, but some of these pieces, even a few of them have been on display on a regular basis. They just haven't been seen in a new light or in a new group, but the vast bulk of them do come from our storage area that just have not seen by the public in a number of years. We also have some pieces by almshouse painter Louis Motter and Charles F. Whitman.
Is that a model right there, John?
No, that's an Knopp. She's a local artist, not as popular as a Brader or a Shearer or even a Devlin, but you're actually looking, this was featured in George's Passing Scene book. I forget which volume, maybe 13 or 14.
Okay.
This is actually 16th and Perkiomen Street in Reading at about 1882.
So one of the great things about when we decided that we were going to do this is that you said that we have 200 plus paintings in the collection, and on our best day we would be exhibiting what, 20?
Something like that, yeah.
10% of our collection. And I think, you know, for the Historical Society of Berks County, now granted we have a lot going on at the Historical Society with the exhibits that we do and things like that, but we never really got to focus on some of the really just preeminent pieces that we have. And when you consider that, you know, collectors from around the world are looking and, you know, just seek out the works of Austrian and Shearer and Razor and Devlin and things like that, and painters like that, it's really great to be able to do this.
And you can see that when you can find a number of artworks by Berks County artists represented in the collections of Winterthur, of the Philadelphia Museum of Art, the Modern Museum of Art down in New York City. You name it. A lot of these artists have gone throughout the area because they've been that popular.
Yeah, and this is also going to allow you as a curator to, like I said, this is going to be, the first one is going to be Barnyard Animal Art of Berks County, okay? But we will, you're going to be changing that. We'll be changing that, what, every 6 months?
Every about 6 months or so. The first group is going to open up on 10 a.m. Saturday, February 11th, and Boots Fair is going to present our opening lecture on Dublin. We're going to have it about 6 months or so. So this will run to the end of August, and then we'll pick a new theme. I'm glad these two are up here because we're going to be producing an adopted painting program. We have a couple paintings that are needed some serious conservation. So if anybody would be interested in participating in our adopted painting program, but yeah, they're going to run 6 months, and it'll be down for about a month and a half or so, or less. So we haven't said when the next group is going to open, but then we'll open up the next group and get a new batch of paintings in there. So about every 6-7 months, you'll be able to come in and see a new group. And
it's not just going to be paintings from our collection, although that will be heavily represented, but it's also going to be guest lenders from the community that are also going to be lending painters. And we'd also ask if anybody has works of art that we'll be focusing on for these exhibits, to contact Joshua, you know, to let him know if you're willing to lend your painting for 6 months. Yeah, it really is going to be a great way to exhibit the artwork that's indigenous to Berks County and that's been produced by Berks County natives. Before you go on, Josh, I think, Joan, do we have a home viewer? Home viewer? Home viewer, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
What's your name?
Della.
Hi, Della. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good. I just wanted to tell you that I thought last week when you had the elf show, it was wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
My 3 granddaughters thoroughly enjoyed it, and they also enjoyed the hands-on section for children in your museum. I just think you need to keep having programs to get the families in there to just see what you have available.
Della, thank you very much for saying that. I will tell you that that was not my idea. That was the idea of our president, Mrs. Beulah B. Boots Fair. And about a year ago, we were talking about, you know, what we were going to do during the Christmas holiday. And she said, Simon, she said, I've always wanted to, you know, she said, I will sponsor a program for that period during that week. She said, I think school children are out of school. They might be getting a little bored. They want something to do, get out of the house. So she said, I will take care of that. And she did do that, and it has been a great success, I got to tell you. I mean, you know, we had just throngs of children participating in that, and I really thank you for letting us know that. That makes us very happy.
Well, keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Okay, bye now.
All right, take care. Anyway, that's you know, that's what makes the job worthwhile. Yeah. That's really nice. Thank you. Anyway, go on, Josh.
Yeah, so we'll have our opening lecture on February 11th. There's a couple more paintings we could have a look at if you'd like to put them up at the screen there. Technology is your friend. That's a razor, J-Heil razor. He's another one that needs a little bit of work. Unfortunately, he was a little bit over-cleaned on the left-hand side. But the rarity of it, whether they're from our collection or from guest lenders, one of the things that makes our exhibit so special is that you hardly ever see these pieces out in the public view, much less together, especially with the loan pieces. Yeah. Some of the stuff, as people collect or sell off or move away, or sometimes pieces might get damaged, you may never see some of these pieces again.
Yeah. So how many pieces do you think you're going to have in this opening?
It looks like we're going to have about 20 to 25 pieces or so. Unfortunately, I'm glad you brought that question up. We've just installed a new freestanding wall in the middle of the room, so that'll allow some extra wall space in there.
I saw that today. That's great.
We have a very nice gentleman, very talented. He said, don't ask me to write a thesis, but he's very talented with wood. His name is Mike Geigel. He did a lot of our exhibit areas down in the basement, like the hands-on history room, the general store area. But we were able to work with him, and he came up with a great wall of using hollow core doors for a beautiful freestanding wall that'll look just a natural for that room.
And we didn't have to move the loom.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Now, when Boots does her program for that second Saturday, that's going to be on the works of Dan Devlin.
Devlin, yeah.
It's the sketches of Devlin, or?
There are some sketches, and there's also some finished works as well, yeah.
Go ahead.
She gave a very popular program. We were invited last year to participate in the Ole Valley Antiques in the Valley show, and we'll be participating this year. She gave a very popular program that not too many people were able to get to, unfortunately. So it's sort of a more research version of that, sort of a follow-up lecture for that series.
More comprehensive.
More comprehensive, yeah.
Okay. And that we have in our collection that what we didn't know or we purchased, I forget, those were the sketches of Devlin.
Yeah, they're in the library.
They're in the library. Yep. Okay, they're part of the library collection. Okay. Okay, because they're one-dimensional. And do you remember how we acquired those? Because that was pretty much of a coup.
She told the story that she was like at a party and he was there and he flopped them on the bed and she looked at them and...
Not Dan Devlin. No. He was...
Well, somebody who had them, and next thing, like they thought that they were going to end up somewhere else, and she talked them into donating them to the society, and they gave them to her.
That's sounding vaguely familiar now. Like he was from Colorado or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, the collection from out west.
She was just at a party and...
And he said, "Oh, I have these."
Yeah, they're really nice.
The audience would be very surprised about how we got
some of our collection
of some of these things. That's great.
Luck and generosity.
Huh?
Luck and generosity.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's when, yeah, it's great. It's great. Well, anyway, Josh, you have anything more on the exhibit?
That's about it. We stay tuned to the program when we announce our second theme. We're developing it right now. And again, like Simon said, if you have anything that you'd like to loan, please contact me at the Society, 610-375-4375. Anything you want to loan, if you wanted to remain anonymous, that's no problem at all. We'll protect identity if you prefer it that way. Yeah.
Fully insured.
Fully insured. Yeah. Yep. Wall to wall, fully insured. I can't wait to see what that room is going to look like with Arbor, because it's such a beautiful, small, intimate room for like an exhibit like that. So it'll be great to see art in there.
Yeah, and it's also going to be a lot nicer now than it was before, because I have a special thank you to make right now, and the thank you is. In conjunction with this exhibit and putting in this permanent exhibit of Berks County art, a changing permanent exhibit of Berks County art, we have been fortunate enough to receive a grant from the Spinnaker Foundation for the installation of a new system of LED lighting in the Palmer Gallery, and that's going to be absolutely wonderful for us. We'll be able to display the artwork in a better setting. It's more energy efficient. It'll save us a lot more money in the long run. Not to mention, it has a very small footprint on the environment. It's very ecologically friendly. And so I would really like to thank the Spinnaker Foundation for their generosity in helping us achieve this initiative. Thank you very kindly. We appreciate that. Okay. Now, moving right along. One of the programs that we do at the Historical Society of Berks County that many of you are probably aware of is our Second Saturday program. And naturally, as the name implies, it takes place on the second Saturday of every month. Refreshments begin at 9:30. The program begins at 10. It's generally 45 minutes to an hour, followed by questions and answers. And it's one of the member benefits for the HSBC members. They're admitted free. If you're a non-member, you can also attend, but the charge is $5, I believe it is?
$4.
$4,
yep.
Excuse me. Charge is $4, but they're very entertaining and enlightening programs, and this one for January will take place on Saturday, January 14th. Again, refreshments at 9:30. The program starts at 10 o'clock, and tonight we have as our special guest Jerry Ware, and Jerry is a member of probably one of the outstanding organizations in Berks County, and that's the Reading Buccaneers. And Jerry's here to talk to us a little bit about the Buccaneers' legacy, their success, what makes them special. And so I would like to introduce Jerry Ware. And Jerry, it's great to have you with us tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Simon. It's great to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about the Buccaneers. I mean, we've just talked about it a little bit before the program, and it was just, I was absolutely dumbfounded at some of the things. Give us start us off in what the history of the Buccaneers is.
Well, the Buccaneers were organized in 1957 by members of another drum corps in the Reading area called the West Reading Police Cadets, and they were a junior drum corps in the 50s, and I believe in the 40s as well. And when some of the members from the West Reading Police Cadets that aged out of the junior corps, they wanted to start a senior corps, a senior competitive corps in Reading, and therefore the birth of the Reading Buccaneers in 1957. Their first year, I believe, they were a parade corps and then got into competition right after that. And it was 1965 when they won their first world championship.
Their first, from 57, 9 years.
Yes. Yeah. A very dedicated group of individuals that got together, and here's Reading's senior corps. And since then, it's been, the Buccaneers have traveled around the country, mostly the northeast region of the country, and we bring the name Reading, to the towns where we compete against. Our competitors know, all they have to hear is the name Reading, and they know it's the Buccaneers that are coming in. Or they hear the word the Buccaneers and they know where we're from. That's Reading. In 1968 they won the championship again. And then in 1979 and 80 they did it again. And
now is this the World Championship, or is this is the World Championship?
This is a World Championship in 2005 through 2010. This is where I get to toot our own horn a little bit, and it's an honor. It's an amazing honor to be called a world champion, to be a member of an organization that is better than any other senior drum and bugle corps on the planet. When we go to our championship, there are a couple of dozen drum corps that show up every year from all over the United States, from the four corners of the country, and there's a corps that comes in from Japan every couple of years, a corps that comes in from England. So it truly is a world championship.
I would imagine England. Tell me, is there a difference between, you call it the drum corps, but is there a difference between a drum and bugle corps and a drum corps? Because you have brass. I mean,
we have brass. There are percussion performers, brass players, and the part of our visual section is we call the color guard. They predominantly use flags and rifles and such. And they are all components of the drum and bugle corps. We just shorten and call it drum corps.
Drum corps. Okay. All right. So they each have their own. When you do a performance, they each have their own role to play within the entire entity.
Indeed. Okay. The production that we do, our stage is a football field.
Okay.
All right. We have the entire 100 yards wide by, well, in steps, 180 steps deep, or 180 feet deep, by 300 feet wide. That is our stage in which we perform. And it is a production of music and visual. That the concept comes about from our creative staff in the late summer, early fall. They'll pick music, and from the music comes concepts of vision. The music is arranged for us so that it'll work on a football field with all of between the percussion and the brass. And then the visual concept is put to the music. Colors, shapes, uniform colors and styles and such. And it all comes together in our creative staff's minds. They work together, they'll put it out on a storyboard, put it out on white paper, and it comes together as a concept, and then they go to writing.
Okay.
And when it comes out of writing, the drum corps learns, the musical performers learn the music over the course of the winter. And by the time the weather starts to break in the spring, that's when we take the music out onto the field and learn the visual portion of it.
So how long will it be? They design a program, or they work up a composite program, and you perform it that season. And so I would imagine, again, to be as successful as you have, you probably don't repeat many performances. I mean, it's probably a new performance every year for a number of years. Is that correct?
It is.
Okay.
It is. In years past, many years ago in the 60s, talk about the history of drum corps, drum and bugle corps, a lot of the corps would carry over, say, a signature piece or signature movements from year to year that would be identifiable to the crowds. And some corps will still do that. We do that in a parade setting and in some signature things that we do, but yes, our concept every year is new and fresh. The judges, the crowd, our audience, the paying people like to see new and fresh ideas every year, and we surprise them and entertain them. And you know, one of the great things about our Drum and Bugle Corps is it's kind of like marching band, but on steroids. Okay, everyone has seen a marching band, all right? And marching band is a great activity that high school and college people get to participate in. And Drum and Bugle Corps is an activity where a lot of us that had been members of marching bands, we get to participate in something that we love, that we truly love to do. Get together and put this production together every year and take it out and compete against friends and not enemies. They're all friends.
Yeah, sure.
You know, but on a Saturday night when we're competing, we're certainly, you know, looking to beat the next group.
Yeah.
But after the show, we're absolutely friends. My son had belonged to a senior Drum and Bugle Corps who was from North Jersey. And my son and I would compete against one another every Saturday night. But after the contest, we'd get together for a refreshment and hug and, you know, tell how much we loved each other. And, you know, it's a great way to, you know, to keep things going. So it's fun, and you know, not all towns or cities have Drum and Bugle Corps. Through the history of Drum and Bugle Corps from the early 20th century, many of the Drum and Bugle Corps were spawned by Boy Scout groups, VFW and American Legion posts, and entities such as that, Catholic youth organizations, to get kids off of the street, to give them something to do. Put a drum or a horn in their hands. Give them something to do and vent their energy in that way. So in many towns and cities, Philadelphia, I think, had 60 Drum and Bugle Corps at one time.
60?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea how many they have now?
None.
None.
They do not.
With the mummers? They don't have,
they have string bands.
That's about it?
Yeah. But as far as the Drum and Bugle Corps activity is concerned, it has waned down. There are more things to do now. We can grab our phones and run our lives from a phone. So things are different. However, Reading still has its drum corps, and you know, we're proud to be that.
But the thing I find, you think about just the music, but it's not just that. It's the total package. I mean, you know, whereas you know, you might be strong on the music, or a band corps might be strong on the music. If they fall down in the, I don't know, the rifle, you know, the manual of arms, or the flag, the color guard thing, it's got to be the total package if you're going to compete at the level that you guys compete with.
You are 100% correct.
Okay. Who do you think some of your best competition? I mean, I'm sure they're all good, but who do you think some of your best competition is out there?
In recent years, our closest competitor has been a Drum and Bugle Corps from Minnesota.
Okay.
Minnesota Brass Incorporated is their name, and they are a great corps. They've been chasing us for a lot of years, and finally this year, this past Labor Day weekend in Rochester, New York, they got around us. And it happens. It happens.
It does happen, yeah.
You know, and I have said, and it's like I said before, we have been the world champions for 6 years in a row, and that's a very difficult thing to keep going. Sure. You have the target on your back. But what I have always said during that 6-year run is, I know that we're going to be beaten someday, but when we are, I want it to be by a great drum corps.
Right.
And Minnesota Brass was a great drum corps.
Okay.
And you know, it's a toss-up because you are judged by humans, and they look at the two programs that are out there. At the end of the program, they put a number down on their respective score sheets. And for 2 nights in 7 years, we took a defeat. But you know what? We were glad for them. We were happy for them because they are friends and competitors, and they were certainly firing on all cylinders those nights. We were as well. We were a darn good drum corps that night. We were hard to beat. Let's put it that way.
And it also makes you better. I mean, sometimes it sharpens you up the next time. Hey, I got more questions for you, but I think we had a home viewer. Home viewer, you still there?
Yes.
Go ahead. What's your name?
Hi, this is Marge.
Hi, Marge. How you doing?
Good.
Hi, Marge.
Good.
Hi, I have a question for Mr. Ware. Can you tell me where in the Reading or Berks County area we can see the Buccaneers over the next year?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have our field contest coming up. Our annual show, our annual field contest is called Big Sounds in Motion, and we will be at Exeter Township High School on August 25th. Big Sounds of Motion will be there. I think the show starts at about 6 p.m. And there's a website for that show you can go to for information, bigsoundsofmotion.com, or the Buccaneers website, which is readingbuccaneers.org, for information about the contest that's coming up. And gosh, we have a concert that we run every year in May at Twin Valley High School. It's called the Spring Preview Concert. And that's an indoor show that's in the auditorium at Twin Valley High School, May 12th, 6 p.m. And there'll be, I believe, 6 other drum corps there, along with the Buccaneers and the Buccaneer alumni. We have a wonderful relationship with Twin Valley High School and with the Exeter Township School District. We're very blessed to be part of them allowing us to come in and present programs at their schools. And that's where people can see the Buccaneers this summer in performance in Reading.
That's great. That's great.
Thank you. Good luck to you this year.
Thanks, Marge.
Thanks, Marge. Let me ask you, how many members are in the Buccaneers now?
128.
Okay, now
sounds like an odd number. Well, it's an even number, but
yeah,
where does 128 come from?
Now, are they all, and when I say active members, are they all part of the current band, of the current corps?
Every year, after championships, the corps effectively disbands for a few months.
Okay.
Okay? And we start with Membership Day in the Sunday after Thanksgiving every year. And that's when the new members for the next year come in and get to know the drum corps, join the drum corps. We'll have many returning members from previous years come back. Okay. But we usually have about a 50% turnover.
You do, really?
Annually, we do.
Wow. Now, why is that?
It is a very physical activity, and it's a very time-consuming activity.
Okay.
When we're out there in the summer rehearsing every weekend, it's Friday night, it is Saturday and Sunday. So there's a big time commitment for the members.
So from when to when?
Time-wise?
Well, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but from what month?
May.
From May to...
May through the end of August to Labor Day weekend.
Wow. That is a commitment.
It is a big commitment. And so therefore you have some turnover.
Okay.
But there are people who are willing to come back.
Well, we'll get back to that.
We'll
get back to that. We got a break we have to take, and back in a minute.
You're watching the Historical Society of Berks County on bctv.org. Be informed, be involved, be a member. For membership information, go to www.bctv.org/support/membership. For other information on local heritage societies and local history, go to bctv.org. The Historical Society of Berks County on bctv.org is underwritten by the Highlands. To find out how you and your business can support a program on BCTV, go to bctv.org.
Hello. Welcome back. All right. We're here with Jerry Ware talking about the Buccaneers. Where did we leave off, Jerry? We were talking about membership turnover.
Yeah.
And Kim brought up a great point that she was... Jerry said that they had a turnover rate of about 50% a year, and Kim astutely pointed out that that's about a turnover rate of, turning over once every 6 years, right? Was that it?
No, they won the World Championship for 6 straight years.
Turning over 50%.
With 50% turnover rate of their membership.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It is really amazing that we can recruit and bring in new members every year, about 60, 65 people a year, and turn them over. And through their hard work, through their desire to be a member of the Buccaneers, a member of a great organization, they come in, they work hard, they get themselves up to speed with the assistance and tutelage of our excellent instructional staff.
Wow.
How many staff members do you have?
Oh, about 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have a home viewer. Home viewer. Are you there?
Yes.
What's your name?
My name's Bill.
Hi, Bill. How you doing?
Okay.
Good. Good to have you with us.
Yeah, just a comment. Grew up, of course, in Reading, watching the Buccaneers in many, many parades, and obviously they're always good. Knew Mr. Prince very well recently, but about 10 years old, I guess, passed away, who was one of the founders. Anyway, I'm certainly glad that in the last few years you have been appearing at the Voices All-Star Football game, and very much enjoy that too. And I just like to say I hope you guys keep continuing showing up for that, because besides getting to see all the local athletes on the football field, we, a little icing on the cake there, we get to see the Buccaneers. So I hope you guys keep supporting that.
Bill, thanks so much for mentioning that. And I was remiss when our last caller asked about,
that's kind of why I called,
to see the drum corps. Yeah, it's been our honor for a number of years to be asked to come out and perform halftime at the Berks All-Star. I think it's East and West or North and South. I'm sorry, I'm not from the county, but
it's East and West. Yeah,
the football game. It's really a great opportunity for the drum corps to get out in front of the crowd, and we use that. The Buccaneers use that kind of as a dress rehearsal for getting into our competitive season, because it falls usually in the first week of June. Our first contest is usually the second or third weekend in June, and it's a great opportunity for us to get the finished field performance out onto the field in full uniform in front of a crowd. And the Berks County crowd, I have to tell you, at the football game, they are incredible. They're awesome. A lot of times marching band gets out on the field, and sometimes people disappear for hot dogs and such, but the Berks County crowd, they're wonderful people. They support not only the football players, the high school kids that are out there in the hot weather playing football, but the Buccaneers out on the field. And what a great reception we get from the folks that come out and see the football game. So,
well, thanks a lot for doing it, and I hope you guys keep doing it. It's very enjoyable, and it's a nice addition to that whole weekend of football for Berks County. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's great. Well, what's the life cycle? Is there a life cycle of a Buccaneer? Almost like a butterfly. I mean, how do they come in? They come in as musicians, or they come in as doing, I don't know, as the water boy, or and
that's a great question. The Buccaneers, I'll speak quickly of the age range. Okay, we have people join as young as 14 and 15 years old.
Okay,
kids
wow.
that are still in high school, or our oldest rookie, as we called him, was a retired band director who joined at 57 years old. He always wanted to be a member of the Buccaneers, had marched in a junior corps when he was college age, and never marched in a senior corps. And the Bucks were in his neighborhood, and he always wanted to do it. And he retired from teaching as a high school band director and came out and joined the corps. Some members stay for a year.
That's it, for a year.
Yeah. Some members stay for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. One of our members, a drum major who we've had for many years, Diane Koenig, who is a resident in the area. Gosh, she started marching with the corps, I believe, in the mid-late 70s, as I think as when she was a student at Westchester, and has been with the Buccaneers for so many years. So it's up to the individual what their life allows them to do, and what their desire is.
Well, success. Everybody wants to be associated with a winner, and without question, the Buccaneers are just that. And we talked earlier in the before we went on, just getting to know each other, and just ask the question, well, how far do people come to be a member of the Buccaneers? Are they all Berks County people? Do they come from outside? Obviously, I think you're not from within the county, but you come from outside. Tell us, how far do they come? I think the audience will be surprised.
We do have a number of local members to the corps. Local meaning 10 minutes, a half hour, 45 minutes away. That's local for us. We also have a lot of people that travel in from all points of the compass. 2, 3, 4 hours away, they'll travel every weekend to be a member of this drum corps in this city.
I hope one of the other band members lets them stay with it.
We do. That is how it works. Our drum and bugle corps, the Buccaneers, are a family, and when someone comes and joins the drum corps, they join the family, and they're treated as such. you know, many of the members, the local members, current and former marching members, will house members of the drum corps for the weekends. I've had for years people staying at my house on rehearsal weekends, and we have people, actually fans from the community. You know, just throw a name out, Roy Kissinger and his wife, great people. Roy never marched with the drum corps, he always did, but he houses members every weekend. You know, him and his wife, they're wonderful people.
They're
great supporters of the drum
age
corps.
50.
Yeah. we had a fellow commute from Ohio, I believe the Cincinnati area, 7-8 hour drive for 3 years, and he marched with us. We had one fellow from Seattle, Washington that wanted to be a Buccaneer, and he flew in 3 months over the winter for 3 rehearsals. He got a spot in the drum line, and he picked up and moved to Pennsylvania, got a job, rented an apartment, and there you have it.
Just to be, or ostensibly to be a member of the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
That's
Our receptionist at the front desk, she'll host people from time to time as well.
That's right. Judy does do that.
Judy does. Yep.
Yeah.
And we wanted to wish Judy a speedy recovery because she's out for recovery from surgery.
She had her surgery
just yesterday.
Well, I left a message on Judy's cell phone, but she didn't get back with me. So.
I don't blame her.
Yeah. Wow.
She's probably still a little out of it.
So what's the farthest away you've gone to a competition?
Since 2005, we went to North Carolina.
Okay.
For a contest. The folks down in that area wanted to have the senior corps in town, and they brought a bunch of us down, and we had a contest down there.
Neat.
But typically, our farthest bus ride for summer contest will be in the 7 hours in one direction.
Okay. What about the world championships? What do they do? Is there one place that they hold those? Or?
Well, for the past 6 years, it's been in Rochester.
Okay.
Rochester, New York.
All right.
And that's a hike. Next year, or for the next 2 years, it's going to Annapolis, Maryland, to
that's nice.
To the
a little closer.
to the Navy Marine Corps Stadium at Annapolis. It is. It's a wonderful place, and we're really looking forward to taking the Corps down there and having the championships there.
Huh.
Yeah. It's a great time.
Well, I tell you what, this is going to be, you know, it's a wonderful organization. When I look at an organization such as yours and see the success that it has, and you know, we're very fortunate in Berks County to have organizations like yours, the Ringgold Band, and so many others. It's special. It's unique to our community, and I want to say again that on Saturday, January 14th at 10 a.m. part of our second Saturday program, or our second Saturday program for January, we're going to have the Buccaneers, Reading Buccaneers, as our guests to tell the audience about your legacy. Can you share anything with about the program that, you know, are you familiar? Are you going to be doing the program?
I will not be there on the 14th.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'll be out of town.
Okay.
But I know there will be a number of folks there from the Corps, representing the Corps. Right. I believe one of the founding fathers, one or two of the founding fathers of the Corps will be there that day. And current marching members, current members of the administration, our Corps historian will be there, Donnie Solinger, talking about the Corps. I believe that we will have video presentations of some of the championship performances over the years.
Great.
For the people to see that come and want to hear and see about the Buccaneers that day. So they will get to see, I think it's 1968, 1979, and 2005. The championship performances from those years. So they'll see it's the travel through time of the performances of the evolution of Drum and Bugle Corps performance over the years, not just in the quality, but in the type of performance.
Okay. As
well. So they're in for a big treat on the 14th when they come out.
Well, we're looking forward to having you, and on behalf of all of the Historical Society, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. It's been wonderful. It's a great organization. We love being part of, having you part of Reading and Berks County.
It's our honor to represent Reading, and certainly our honor to come out and visit your establishment. Thank you.
Well, Jerry, thank you very much. It's been great having you. Okay, let's see. Where are we going to go to right now? Why don't we, Kim? What's going on over at the Henry Janssen Library? There's been a lot. You've been getting pretty good publicity here of late. Tell us about some of the things you've got going on.
We decided in our infinite wisdoms to create an archival workshop series, and we hope that it's not as boring as it sounds. We're trying to make archives fun. The first topic is January 21st, and it's entitled Why Archives Matter, and it will be presented by yours truly. I will provide patrons with a brief history of the library's 140-plus years of service and explain the evolution of the library into the research facility it's becoming. It's no small feat. It's basically an introduction to the Henry Janssen Library if you've never been there. February 11th, Patricia, I hope I get her last name right, Scalio, will present Preserve Your Family Legacy by Restoring Family Photographs. Basically, it's discover your family heritage by preserving generations of photographs, learn how to take care of your collections, and see some examples of ways to reproduce, enhance, damaged, deteriorated photographs. She's also going to show examples of how to make an album using timelines to create a story from your collection. She suggests that you bring some family photographs if you have questions. She's actually an arts educator in the field of historic photographic techniques, so really interested in seeing that, especially considering film is going by the wayside. March 24th will be the last one. It will also be presented by yours truly. I don't have a snazzy title for that yet, but it's basically going to center around beginning your historic research project. We're going to delve into the differences between primary and secondary resources, how to go about locating and requesting material, and while we're going to target historic research, the techniques can be applied to genealogical research. All of the workshops will be held in the Connor Auditorium at 940 Center Avenue, because first off, we don't have the space at the library and we're open to research. They will start at 1 p.m. and end around 2. Members are free, and non-members are asked to pay the Henry Janssen Library admission of $5.
Well, after the workshops, will you be able to take our patrons on a tour?
We are hoping, especially after the first one of Why Archives Matter, we're really hoping we might have to do it in groups. It depends on how many researchers we have in that day. We've been running kind of quiet because everybody's kind of, recovering from the holiday. Sure. But at least right now in January, it's looking pretty good that we might be able to do a full tour, first floor and basement.
Well, we have a home viewer that we need to get to, but, as far as archives are not boring. I mean, they made 2 movies of it. It was a National Treasure. That was based on the National Archives and Records Administration. But Kim will show you some of the things that we find in the archives that are, that are pretty neat. I mean, and it's scholarly work, but it's also exciting work too, and we'll get to that. But we do have a home viewer. Nope. Nope. Okay. Oh. Anyway, show, what else were you going to talk about?
Real quick, one of the reasons why we're trying to promote the archives, I've been doing the history of the library. And really, in essence, the Historical Society was pretty much founded for a library and publication. The library's been in it from the start. We do have 143 years, give or take, of of history, and it amazes me that it's kind of fallen by the wayside. And it's very interesting because right now I feel like we're finally picking up what the founders wanted us to do.
Well, I know you've said that before, and I know it's true, but it's a lot of times it's the focus du jour, if you will, and so you go through these periods where all of a sudden the focus changes. And I always tell people that in the historical societies really started to burgeon and explode in the mid-70s. If people remember when Alex Haley wrote Roots, they did the mini-series. All of a sudden that sparked an interest in genealogy that genealogy became, and the archives and special collections of historical societies became the 800-pound gorilla, and that's really what drove a lot of people to historical societies. But
But then collections like these
exactly,
have fallen by the wayside and been hidden for like 100 and some odd years.
That's right, and and so maybe it's your good fortune that that happens, because now you can get back to looking at those things and start finding some of the incredibly exciting things that you found, and I think you'll tell us about a couple of those.
I did bring actually the newspaper article if you have not seen it. Ron Devlin is our favorite researcher lately. He comes in about once a week, and we'd like to thank him. He was in...
Ron Devlin is a
reporter for the Reading Eagle. He was in when my former assistant and now library volunteer, Ellen Sloan, came across one of the drafts of the Constitution for the Ringgold Light Artillery. Because we're coming up on the 150th anniversary of the Civil War, Boots actually asked that we start trying to identify Civil War collections. Sure. And so we jumped right in, and as I've been saying since probably May, we hit on the James McKnight collection. And we were really, it kind of took us back when we found one of the original drafts.
Well, when you're talking about the Ringgold, the Historical Society was incorporated in 1869. We're 143 years old. You get a lot of stuff in that over that amount of time, collect a lot of things. And anyway, that original charter for the Ringgold Light Artillery is significant because Captain McKnight...
McKnight was, he was the captain of the 1st Defenders, which is the Ringgold Light Artillery.
Right. Show that.
And actually, this somewhere in here, we don't know if it was, if they copied it from someone else. The original text reads the Schuylkill Artillery, and it was crossed out, and Ringgold was written in, and it's spelled wrong. But we do have, actually, we think it's McKnight's original copy. We're not positively sure, but we do have the published official version of the Constitution as well. The McKnight stuff is just, we finally this week, today, Bill finally started doing the data entry on that, and I brought one of his diaries.
That's Captain McKnight's diary.
We supposedly have 4.
Wow.
We've only located 3. So it's the library. It doesn't surprise me, but this is 1862, so it is written in his hand. I guess a while ago they transcribed these and published them in the Historical Review, so you can read transcribed versions of them. But I don't think this was entered into the computer yet, but this is a letter to McKnight from, let me see, it's to Captain McKnight, Independent Company, Pennsylvania Artillery, Ringgold Artillery, from Headquarters, Military Department of Washington, and it's requesting reports from McKnight in accordance with General Orders Number 10. Bill was saying something today at lunch that at some point he was contacted by Washington and actually requested to turn in his paperwork or they were going to refuse to pay him. And if you see the 7 boxes of documents, so it's kind of funny that, he was withholding paperwork because he wrote like everything down. It's a pretty significant collection. We've had comments saying that many people thought some of these documents were kind of locked in the National Archives, and we stumbled upon them in June. So.
Well, it's so timely when you consider that the 150th anniversary, sesquicentennial of the American Civil War, 1861 to 1865, is upon us, and now to find these, not documents. I mean, one is a document, but they're entire collections of a Civil War hero, if you will, that has heretofore been out of circulation. And the fact, I'm sure many of the people in the audience probably know what the 1st Defenders are. They were the first troops to heed President Lincoln's call to come down and defend Washington after the bombardment of Fort Sumter. So it's really amazing to have this come out now, and the collection will be processed, or should be processed and made available to the public by this summer.
One of the interesting things is that through this collection and some of his own private research, Bill's proven his obituary wrong.
No.
They got information wrong in his obituary. Montgomery had information wrong.
Really?
You know, so it's been kind of interesting because we've kind of been able to uncover. In one of the articles, it states that he was married, but we figured out that they got him and another James McKnight mixed up.
No kidding. All right.
So it's been really kind of, and this is the stuff that we get to do. Like, we happen upon something, and then all of a sudden we're like trying to research 20 million things to try to figure out. You know, it's really fun.
It is. It is fun. Anyway, well, we got to talk about some things that are going on the historical side before the show's over. But Kim, thank you very much. That's great. Great work. We appreciate it. Josh, what do you got?
Well,
we have Kids Caboodle, right?
Yeah, Kids Caboodle is coming up on Saturday, March 3rd. It may seem like a ways away, but it'll be here before you know it. It'll be on Saturday, March 3rd at 10 a.m. Ages 5 and older. It's appropriate for it, but please ask you that children be accompanied by an adult. This year's theme is Royalty of the Renaissance. England 1599. Kitty Jones as Lady Celia Beaumont will bring with us the splendor of Elizabethan history, manners and customs, court dancing, ladyship and knighthood exhibitions, so we can all prove on our manners, and all are magnificently explored and brought to life. So we're looking forward to a program very much.
I'm excited for that one. That was my major field of study for my master's work, that and Byzantine. But that should be good, and it's a great event for the kids. And that event is, allowed. We have that. It's a free event. It's open to the public. It's free. It's a great time. I'd also like to mention before we close out, we are also having the annual President's Day Luncheon, and that's a collaborative effort between HSBC, the Berks County chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution, the Joseph Heaster chapter of the Sons of the American Revolution, and the Conrad Weiser chapter of the Children of the American Revolution. And again, it's the annual President's Day Luncheon. It takes place on Saturday, February 18th, 2012 at noon at the Historical Society's main location at 940 Center Avenue. Guests and members of the Historical Society or members and non-members are welcome. Our guest speaker for that luncheon will be Jim Lewers, who is the director of the Landis Valley Museum. He'll be speaking on early English and German architecture in Berks County. The lunch is great. It's put on by Viva, and it's going to be your choice of entrees, which is either 4-cheese lasagna or urban crusted chicken. The price is $30 per person. I guess that's about it for tonight. I want to thank everyone for joining us and for supporting the Historical Society of Berks County. I would like to thank our guest Joshua Blay, Jerry Ware, and Kim Brown for being on the program. I'm Cy Bertolet. Until next month, George will be back. We thank you very much for your support, and Happy New Year.